Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Tuesday, November the 12th, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary video brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. Just a quick reminder, if you have not been to the website yet, go check it out. There's a lot of free, informative information on the site. At the same time, if you're interested in trading with our prop firm, or finding out some information on our educational courses, please contact us via the Contact Us button on the front of the home page in the upper right-hand side, or you can shoot me an email at ccooper@wallstreettrading.com. Aside from that, let's go ahead and jump into the market analysis here today. A pretty choppy session here in the morning until we finally got some nice selling pressure around, say, 11:30 or so, once we broke down out of the head and shoulders that you can see on the ES 5-minute chart, which I'll highlight to you guys here shortly. But let's go ahead and talk about the numbers here. The Dow was down 32.5 points. The Nasdaq was pretty much flat, up 0.13, and the S&P 500 was down 4.25. If we take a look at the breadth on the markets, they're pretty much mixed. We had 3,879 issues declining on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. We had 2,414 issues advancing on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. Again, we had a lot of mixed action earlier in the morning in the session here, but then we finally started breaking down. I would say it had to do a lot with the weakness in the financials. I mean, we had Wells Fargo down over 1%. We had Berkshire Hathaway down over 1%. Citigroup was down 1.25. BK, Bank of New York Mellon, down 1.5. PNC down 1.5. The insurance companies were down over 1%. So we did see some profit taking or some selling pressure in some of these financial stocks, however you want to look at it. I know some of those names have been getting a nice little bounce the past couple days, but they were down today. We did see some nice selling pressure in the basic material side as well, such as OXY down 1.5%, EOG down 2.5%, Chevron and COP, ConocoPhillips, SLB was down 2%. So a lot of weakness there. So let's go and take a look at some of the market action, and we'll take a look through some of these names and see what actually is going on here. I want to start off with the SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF. All right, down 36 cents, down 0.20%, closing at 176.96. And you can see here we're chopping around this key trend line from these little pivot highs, tops that we've been tracking here back from May. Connect that little pivot area to this little pivot high, to this pivot high, and now you can see we're chopping around that trend line and more or less just trading in a range between 175 and 177.5. You want to watch this high base range, as this is a nice high base range for this little up move right here. So we have an up move, sideways action usually leads to a move higher, usually indicative of a move higher, but we'll see how that plays out. Again, just right now, chop action here, as we have some people expecting the market to go high, and we have some people thinking that the market's overbought in the short term and needs to pull in. Again, Thursday and Friday's action, I think, pretty much explains it all. We had sellers come and knock the market down on Thursday, where, Thursday we had all the rallies getting shorted intraday. Really felt like the bears were in control. Next thing you know, we have some decent numbers out on the employment, on the jobs numbers, and they buy the market back up. All right, sideways to slightly positive Monday, and then today a little mixed action, sold off intraday off of a head and shoulders breakdown, and we rallied back up towards the top of the range. Let me take a look at the SPY, see if you can see the head and shoulders pattern as clean as you can see it on the ES chart. Take off these drawings real quick here, hide all drawings, and yeah, you can see it there as well. Of course, obviously I was just making sure to see if it was the same nice clean pattern. Which, I mean, it is. You have your left shoulder, you have your little head right here, you have your right shoulder. How do you know that's a head? Well, check this out, folks. This is some of the stuff that we teach in our education course, and some of the things that we explain intraday in our live chat room, mywallstreettv.com, to the subscribers and followers that join us in the room here. But you have your support level down here at let's see, sorry about that. You have your support level down here at 176.90. Okay, which on the ES happens to be 1764. So we rallied up from the open, made a left shoulder. All right, then we had this nice little high base flag that was trying to form right here. That failed. We sold off, hit the support level, rallied right back up to that key area. All right, where the bottom of the failed flag was holding at. Rallied right back up, created that right shoulder, never violated the left shoulder, and what do you know? We have it. Nice little breakdown that followed through a little bit, and nice little clean short there today. Cleanest move of the day, I would say. And then they bought closed right kind of in the middle around where we opened at. So that's why the S&P 500 was pretty much flat down, quarter of a percent. But again, there's definitely some action in different stocks. So let's go ahead and take a look at that action. Let me bring up the S&P chart here again on the SPY. And again, just a little choppy action today, sold off, bought us off the lows. We're still holding that 5 and 8 EMA, but you can see how the moving averages are slowly starting to turn flat and trade sideways, showing us that this is just nothing but a high base consolidation area that we have to watch. Keep your eyes posted on that. If you take a look at the ES here, the ES looks interesting because I like how if you take this little pivot high, you can see how on Friday's action we had support right as a key trend line. So there's definitely some eyes watching this trend line. So I would take this trend line right here, and then you take this make a parallel trend line right there, and you have this little up move, and now you can see what's going on. We have a nice up move, sideways consolidation, holding that key trend line as support, and now we're waiting to see if this is actually going to come back down or this is going to move up. You can see this is at a slight upward angle, and you guys know upward channels do resolve to the downside, but again, this is at a slight angle. It's not as if it's at a steep angle where it looks more, or it looks more like a upper bearish channel that could come down, upward bullish channel that could come down. This one more or less looks like it's nice sideways action there with a slight upward trend line from that little pivot highs that we connected back here. So we'll see how it plays out. Again, keep an eye on the 1740 level on the ES, and if we could break and hold above 1770 and then take out the 1775 area, that would be good, as we're most likely going to probably stay in this uptrend and continue marching up towards the 1800 level that a lot of players are expecting us to touch by the end of the year. So let's go and take a look at the NASDAQ futures. I haven't had a chance to bring up my NASDAQ proprietary channels yet, but I wanted to see how it plays out. Again, we've been tracking this through the breakout of the year. We called the breakout right here in May to get long technology stocks, and like 2 weeks later, CNBC is talking about getting long technology stocks. That was a start of the momentum action in the NASDAQ. All right, then we traded sideways, broke out this little range, this little channel right here. You can see it got a little bit choppy. Then they brought it down, held the bottom of the channel, and we marked this back up, and now we're just floating up here. Still a nice little strong uptrend on the weekly chart of the NASDAQ. I like to look at the NASDAQ. When I do my analysis on the NASDAQ here, and we watch, or if we talk about it in the room, excuse me, I'm trying to talk a little bit too fast here, or if we talk about it in the room, I like to reference the triple Qs, of course, which is the NASDAQ 100 ETF, and we also look at the NASDAQ futures. But taking a look at the triple Qs, which is the NASDAQ 100 ETF, you can see here it was up 13 cents, 0.16%, closing at 82.54. Another high base range up here between 83.5 and 81.50, so a $2 range. We do have a gap filled down here around 81, so if we were to break below Thursday's lows, that would be the next target. But if we hold above this 81.50 level, you can expect us to most likely trade back up towards the upper part of the range, 83.50. You want to watch today's lows, and then you want to watch a move for a break and hold above 82.67, which should take us back up towards that 83 area. Again, some key stocks to watch in the NASDAQ, since we're talking about technology stocks. Apple, which is hanging around the 20 moving average. Again, not really seeing much here. I could bring this little lower support level down to Thursday's lows. Resistance is right here at 527. So we're trading in a range, I would say, between 512, 527. Okay, $15 range. Still holding below the 50% range or 50% price level from this expansion bar. This little sell-off bar that we had 2 weeks ago when they came out with their earnings. That after hours, and the next day it gapped up and sold off all the way down to 515. So we're still watching this action right here. Again, don't really see much to do in Apple until it gives us some more signals that it either wants to continue trending up from this little low that it put back here in September, or if it wants to roll back over and maybe make its way back towards the 500 level. Take a look at Amazon. This stock had earnings, held up pretty well, gave back as the market started getting weak. They started fading it down into some of that little gap action. If it gets back above 355, that would be good. If it has trouble breaking back above 355 and trade sideways to lower, you have to expect it to go back down towards this 340 area and maybe try to get some gap fill action down here a little bit more here. Another thing you could use to gauge the stock is draw a little trend line for this little pivot high, this pivot high, this pivot high, and there you go. All right, it really needs to get back above, say the 360 area, or better yet, back above again. Yeah, that 355 level. IBM was strong yesterday. Let's see what it did today. All right, a little bit of fall through action today, even though it was not able to close above yesterday's highs. Did have some fall through action. Take a look at the 5 minute chart. It looks like it did give you at least some type of money trade in the morning here. All right, take a look at the 5 minute chart. It rallied all the way from 182 half all the way to 184. So it gave you about what 2.5 points there. Sorry, 1.5 points to the top side. Not bad at all. All right, so keep IBM on your radar. All right, stock is trying to get a balance after it's been getting slammed for the past 3 or 4 quarters here. All right, what else? Netflix. Again, we're taking a look at some of these technology stocks. Netflix, not much action there. If I zoom the chart out, let me see if I zoom it out a bit more here. You can see it's more or less trading in a range between a 325, all right, and this say 342 area. Keep an eye on it if it breaks above 340 and holds, and keep an eye on it if it breaks below 325 and holds. Again, right now it's trading sideways, similar to Apple, just trading sideways, consolidating. We'll keep an eye on that name to see what it wants to do. Tesla, a lot of guys are trading this. It had some momentum last week from the bounce on Thursday. I'm sorry, from Friday's bounce. Had some fall through action on Monday, and then today gets slammed right back down. And I hear them bashing Tesla on fast money. So we'll see what happens with Tesla. If it breaks below its pivot low around 132 and a quarter from Friday, we could see some more selling pressure, most likely down towards this 119 level, which is the rising 200-day exponential moving average. Another momentum stock that traders are watching. Starbucks, trades in the Nasdaq. I just wanted to bring this up because it showed some nice strength on Friday, and now that I look at it, looks like it's coming right back down. Nothing there. But I did see some action in eBay today. eBay shows some great relative strength. Keep an eye on this name. This could be your possible little A, B move, looking for that C leg up. eBay looks like a good long if it breaks above today's highs around 53 and a quarter. Actually setting my alert for my guys and myself right now. eBay on the radar. Also saw some bullish action in WDC, Western Digital. All right, this one may need to pick up some more volume. As you can see, volume's low in this consolidation, which is pretty much expected. The past 6 sessions or so, it's been trading between 70 and 72. Try to break out today. If you see a break and hold above this 72.60 area or so, I would definitely keep an eye on this name. And if you're looking at WDC, which is a data storage stock, you want to take a look at EMC, SNDK, NTAP, STX, and so on. All right, and I'll be looking at those names later on tonight as I do my research. What else here? Google. Let's go and take a look at Google. See what that stock did. All right, Google. Nice strong stock, of course, from earnings. This is one of the stocks that they came out with the earnings report, and the stock did actually trade higher rather than chop around and trade lower. This same earnings date opened up at 974, which the prior day it closed at 892. So monster gap here. Of course, you can see that in the chart. And now we've just been trading sideways. Rallied all the way up to a little bit, rallied all the way up towards that 1041 level, and now we've pulled back from that high 2 weeks ago into a rising 20-day moving average. Keep an eye on this name back over this 1020 level. Could definitely get some nice momentum if the Nasdaq catches a nice bid tomorrow, sometime later this week after they get out this little range. It's trading into this little choppy action we're kind of getting up here near these highs. So Google, IBM we looked at. I'm seeing some green in BRCM. Let me see what the stock did today. BRCM was up. This one actually looks pretty decent as well. Nice move up, nice recovery from it. Looks like what looks to have been a bad earnings report as it gapped down, rallied up. A nice little pullback here, held that area for about 3 sessions or so, and now a nice little fall through bar up today. This is a setup where you'll be looking for a break over today's highs as a trigger, and then your next target will be back up here towards 27. I would say 27.85 or so. So BRCM, keep an eye on this name. I'm actually again setting my alert right now as I go through these charts with you all. All right, and quick reminder: if you guys are on Stock Twits, you can find me on Stock Twits at Ask Chris He Trade. Okay, that's pretty much Ask Chris He Trades. Don't add the S. Or you can follow us on My Wall Street TV on Stock, Twitch, and Twitter and all that good stuff as well. So BRCM, keep an eye on this one. Looks pretty good. I saw AMD was up 3%. Juniper Next Work was up close to 3%. JNPR. All right, this one looks pretty good as well. All right, nice breakout over 1880. Big up move on Friday. Pause day on Monday yesterday, and then follow through candle today. This one should get another follow through candle tomorrow, and it's actually trying to break back above its 200-day moving average. We'll be watching this technology stock as well. I want to make sure I'm not missing something here. Oh, I also like this nice little downward channel action that this chart has. Oops. There's a little action right there, a little action right there. This will be forming like a nice little downward channel. All right, that's as far as it goes for the technology stocks. Let's go ahead and finish taking a look at some of these other indices. I know I'm jumping all over the place here, but IWM, nice little bounce off that 50-day simple moving average we mentioned here. All right, and it's trying to get back above that 50-day uh, 50-day trend line from the big upward channel that we have in place. All right, so back above 110 will be good, especially if we can start trading back above the pivot high that we made, lower pivot high that we made back here last week, Wednesday, which happens to be around 110.40, 110.5. So if we get back above the level, then that'll be pretty good, and we could definitely see the IWM back near its highs around the 111.5 area. So keep an eye on that. Let's see here. If I'm talking about the IWM, let me just go ahead and look at the financials. Uh, Goldman Sachs trying to break back above the median line of the channel. All right, we discussed how this area is going to act as resistance from this key trend line from the big channel, which you can see has been pretty clean. All right, look at this nice clean upper big channel. A lot of traders, I'm pretty sure, are taking these little swing trades as cash flows between those upper and lower ranges. But Goldman Sachs, flat day today, down 0.5%. Again, it really needs to break over 164 and hold. The financials were weak today. JP Morgan still hanging in there, got bought off the lows today. Nice big expansion counter here. I would assume that this is going to try to consolidate sideways a little bit, then move higher. All right, Citigroup showed relative weakness today. After last week, it showed a little bit of relative strength, so we'll see how this reacts. This one may need to come back down a little bit. All right, 49 was a breakout level, but it may need to come down and consolidate a little bit more before it tries to move out higher. I do like how these financials have these nice wide engulfing or large expansion candles. We want to make sure we see which ones hold near the upper part of that range from that candle, from the long bullish candle that most of the financials have from last Friday. All right, and we want to see which ones fade back and maybe break below the low of that. The ones that break below the low of last week Friday's candles. All right, those are the weaker names, and then the ones that hold the upper 38.2%, I would say, of this candle. Those are the stronger names. So if the market does go up, those will be the names to get long. And if the market was to come back down or pull back and the banks were to still be weak, the ones that broke the low of Friday's candle, since a lot of the banks had bullish candles on Friday, those will be the ones showing relative weakness. Those will be the names you want to attack. Let's go and take a look at some of these insurance stocks too. AIG, all right, not really doing much. They had earnings last week, but they had earnings on the 1st of November, and so far it gapped down. It's been trading sideways. I guess you could watch AIG if it breaks below today's lows. I'm going to go ahead and put an alert on it so I can watch them today, since again, if you watch the financials or if you're watching the banks, you also want to take a look at some of the insurance companies. All right, let's take a look at MetLife. We can take a look at LNC. MetLife, again, nice little move up, pull back here. I'm not sure why all the banks had a bullish day on Friday, or a big bullish day. I believe it had to do something with interest rates. I'm not sure. If maybe one of you guys know, if one of you guys out there know the reason why the financials popped up pretty nice on Friday. If you could just please type it under the YouTube video. I should have went and did my research over the weekend, but I didn't. PRU, all right, nice little high base consolidation going on right here. If it holds this 86 level and the financials are strong, or the insurance stocks are strong, or I will guess the PNC is considered a money center bank. So if the money center banks are strong, or the financials, of course, this will be a name to go to. PRU looks interesting. See, Travelers. Looks a little bit weak here. Gap down today. Sold off, closed near the lows. Looks like the stock's been trading in a range between 86 and 88. If it was to break below 86, the next target would be 85.38 just from this moving average. Also kind of near this little pivot low area that we have from a couple weeks ago. All right, so Travelers TRV is a stock that I'm putting an alert if it breaks below the low of today, if I can say that, and that's going to be, just call it 86. Let's go and take a look at some of the commodity stocks, or the commodities here, starting off with gold, GLD. All right, again, GLD not getting any love. Actually, let's take a look at the gold futures. You can see GLD, the actual ETF, if it holds below 120, if it breaks and holds below 122, should get some nice selling pressure. Let's go ahead and take a look at the gold futures, since this is what we usually track. We mentioned the fact that the gold futures has a little funky head and shoulders pattern look right here, and so far that looks like it may be playing out. If gold holds below, I would say 1260, all right, look for this to start making its way back down towards 1220, 1200. Again, if it gets back above, say, the 1280, then you want to watch this little trend line break right here, as that could be a next move for that could be the next catalyst for a potential move back up towards that 1350 level. We'll have to wait and see, but right now it definitely looks like it's in a strong little downtrend from the 2-week high. Let's see, GDX gold miners down 52 cents, not really getting much action here, trending down, sloppy. If it holds some support at 23, maybe it'll play that level. We'll see how gold is trading, and then we'll make that decision. But don't plan on taking any trades in the sector right now in the short term, as right now they're just kind of chopping around a little bit. What else? Let's see. Let's take a look at the home builders. Toll Brothers up 20 cents today. Not really seeing any action there. All right, Lennar. All right, not really seeing any action there. It's trading at 37.40 a couple weeks ago. Now it's trading at 32. And then we have KBH, not really seeing much action there. Easier way that you can look at all those stocks, just look at the sector. XHB, downward channel break, rallied up, back test held, rallied back up, put a lower pivot high in. Now we're pulling back, holding this 30 level. So we'll keep an eye on that sector and see what it wants to do from there. All right, so gold, let's take a look at a couple gold miners. GG, again, does not look good at all. Looks like it wants to go back down to this 23 level. You can take a look at Newmont Mining. Newmont Mining trading sideways. They already came up with earnings. Remember, they lowered their dividend, so keep an eye on that. What else? Energy companies. Let's take a quick look at a couple of names. ExxonMobil definitely has been showing some relative strength to other sectors. I would wait for this thing to consolidate up here off this high base and then try to look for an entry on it. Nice little move up. Sideways action would be positive, then look for a move higher for a nice strong break over 93.5. See, Chevron was trying to catch some momentum sentiment action from the ExxonMobil trade, but has not been able to do nothing. Trading in a range between, I would say, 117 and 122 right now in the short term. Let's see some other names. TSO looks good, nice momentum there, trying to get a solid break above the 200-day simple moving average, around 52 and a quarter. And then VLO, another refiner. This one looks good over today's highs, or over this 42 area. That's about it, folks. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the midday market update. Again, make sure you check out our website. If you want to join us in our chat room, you can log into mywallstreettv.com. You can get the password by filling out the form on the right-hand side of the home page of wallstreettrading.com, or send me an email to ccooper@wallstreettrading.com. Have a great day, folks. Cheers.